Welcome
Good
to
morning.
welcome to Disco Dolls Gallery, 4632 North Florida Avenue in Seminole Heights. And you're reporting from Seminole Heights as well?
Yeah, more Tampa Heights, but
Well, thank you for your time this morning. And thank you for this wonderful, wonderful body of work and journey that we're going to share with our viewers today. Tell us, what is your daytime job? Just so the people out there can know.
I'm an elementary school art teacher for K through 5. So that's what I usually do.
And then you come home and do all this stuff at night in this studio that we're visiting you in.
Yeah, pretty much, or on the weekends or whenever we have days off.
Well, all these paintings are new. I recognize one in the back here from your sketchbook, which I love. And how long would you say this body of work took you?
I started in, I think, beginning of December. So like that first week of December, and then I finished the last one mid-June, and I kind of just stopped.
So
I had a couple more actually sketched out, but I think with everything going on, I just hit a wall. I was like, I need to take a break. So it took me about that time. So each piece took about a month. That was always my goal, like finish one piece in a month. And then the sketches would obviously take less time, the 4 smaller ones.
right. Do you do the little sketches before all these big paintings?
Actually, no, it's like the reverse. I don't know. I'll do the big ones, and then while I'm in the middle of one of the big ones, if I'm at like an art market or show when those were still going on, I would sit behind my table and just start sketching out things that I was already working on, just like smaller versions, because it's in my head.
Because it's in your head. And
Yeah.
that brings the name of your show, Bursting.
Yeah.
Everything bursting. And these images I have here behind me, let's just start out with the names of them. We have flittering. These are all adjectives that I love. I love words. So these invigorate me just by the name of it. And then you see the imagery: flittering, blooming, migrating, skittering, constricting, nesting, burrowing, and budding. Which one was the first one?
Blooming was the first one.
It was the first one. I thought it would be constricting. When did constricting come along?
That was the of the big pieces, that was the fourth one.
The fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got done, I love that. I love them all. I could spend the whole day with them, and then the next day and the next day, just having them for lunch. It's just, they're so interesting. You do such a good job with preserving the white using your water medium, which isn't the easiest task, but yet you attain that. And they're just so lovely. So anyway, though, constricting. When you're done with constricting, as part of this journey of bursting, do you feel like then you are tightened up? Or, because that one tightens us up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. So kind of what happened was when I started off with blooming, I was going for the idea of like I'm trying to express this uncomfortable feeling. And again, when you kind of explore and really look at what's happening in the art, it is a little disturbing because things are growing out of somebody. But when I got to just constricting, I was trying to make that uncomfortable feeling more obvious, more in your face a little bit. And then once I had finished that one, I was like, I want to pull back and go back to that initial feeling of blooming with the butterflies, which was flittering. My brain is still waking up, I guess, a little bit. But so that's where I was at after constricting. I was like, let me pull back a little bit.
So your art, just tell me, I'm just reading between the lines a little bit. Being a painter myself, we can't disconnect from it. It's not just an image, it's a feeling. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so. I agree.
This isn't just plain old imagery. This is how you feel at certain times.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of the whole point of this body of work, was to really like put my feelings out there. Like maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but to me it's very obvious. So it is a little like feeling exposed.
But they're delightful because your imagery is actually so happy. The colors are just amazing and so happy. And then you come over and we look at nesting, burrowing. And, the imagery is this lovely image of this woman, and yet rats are coming out of her legs and everywhere. But
Yeah.
they're pretty rats. They're really pretty rats. So it's kind of a tongue in cheek, but I feel it too. You talk about this in your artist statement about your artwork being a conduit to communicating these feelings, just as you said. So these depictions are emotions then. Would you say that?
Not a real physical feeling, but kind of, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of, but where it's like you're not physically feeling it, but at the same time you are, like when you feel like butterflies in your stomach kind of idea, where you're not physically feeling butterflies, but
Right.
cement, I can't remember the word for it.
That's okay. Um, Well, there's decades and decades and decades of research about the creative mind and how it kind of can get away with us. And so it's refreshing that you call a spade, that you call, we're going to have to delete that, Emma. Anyway, cut. I'm going to begin again. When
Okay.
you are honest about your imagery. Messed that one up. Sorry, Christine will help me on that. Anyway, life is full of changes, isn't it? And would you say that this segues you into this new body of work? Or because I feel like you're the same artist, it's just maybe more vivid. Is that something, or can you tell us?
I do think it has, you're asking like, has my art migrated to this new direction? Just to clarify. Yeah,
Yes.
so I would say it's definitely migrated me in this new direction of more about expressing like myself, because like with the last body of work I had, it disco dolls like a month or so ago, I feels like forever ago. It was definitely a little more exploring like this fantasy world that lives in my head a little
Right.
more impersonal, even though I was in it. It definitely wasn't as much, I think, about me. So I think I'll still like do what I was doing before, because I still get enjoyment out of that. I still enjoy creating stories and exploring these characters that have nothing really to do with me, because it's interesting. But I definitely think I'm going to continue with what I'm working on, what is currently showing at Disco Dolls, and exploring this um, idea of communicating through visual imagery.
Right. I just love it. Um, Tell me, I don't know that I know who your favorite artist, and you probably have many, but when you not necessarily get stuck on a painting or just feel like looking at art, what do you go to? Who do you go to?
Um, Nowadays, honestly, because of social media and Instagram and Pinterest, because there's just such a heavy access, or just like a wide access to artists from all over the world, ones that are famous and ones that aren't. I honestly, I just go to Pinterest now, and I just like the discover new artists. Like, and the funny thing about that is like I don't even necessarily know their real name, because some artists don't even go by their real name anymore. They go by handles, or pseudonyms. Like even I don't always go by my name, Emma Lettera. If I'm at like a comic convention, I go by discombobble. So a lot of people probably don't even know my real name. It's out there. So I can't like say just one artist, because again, I don't
Well, I like that. That's a
know.
great answer. No, I get stuck in my old school ways, and so it's refreshing to say, well, you're flipping through social media and that's a good voice for artists, and that's where I know you have a voice as well. But I honestly, I think that this show is so strong that we have to have viewers come. We can make a date with you, Emma, maybe to come to the salon and see in the gallery and talk about it up close and your vision. And or you can look it on Instagram, and our Instagram is discodolls_art. And we can look at your Instagram, which is it discombobble?
Yeah,
Discombobble _
just at discombobble.
at dis at
Yeah,
discombobble.
the little at symbol. Yeah.
Um, I think that the more we talk about things, obviously, and the more we can influence others. What do you feel like you want your influence to be from this?
Um, like my work is personal to me, so I don't know if people can relate to it necessarily. I don't know in that regard, but what I would hope is maybe other people are going through something similar that I went through, emotionally, mentally, and maybe they can see my work and relate to it somehow and realize, hey, I'm not like alone. Like other people feel this way. This is something that connects with me. This makes me feel less, isolated or ostracized, and bring some level of comfort. Maybe that would be my hope for it, just to show and also to show that it's okay to put yourself out there, because again, with blooming, that was my first one. And even though, again, it's not necessarily obvious what it's about unless you know me or you read the artist statement. And I wasn't gonna put out there when I first had posted it I shared it with my friends on social media and stuff, but saying this is how I feel. I was just here's a piece of art I finished. I still felt nervous and uncomfortable
Oh,
sharing it because it was the first one, even though I was it's not I'm spelling out what's going on with me. But once I showed that first one, it was much easier to share the rest. And there was such positive reception to it, and people asking me I feel like I can relate to this, even if they didn't necessarily know my backstory. But it was interesting hearing people messaging me and sharing their own interpretation and how they felt about it, and opening up a conversation and a dialogue and diving into honestly the mental health aspect of it. And so that's what I hope the influence would be for other people. Is it did this work helps open up a dialogue already, just sharing it with friends about saying it's okay to be open, and you're not alone, and we all have our issues.
yes. Well, you just said that so eloquently. I don't even know if I can add anything other than, Emma, you must know, you're being modest, that people, when they would, any viewer that has come to see our show, we've had a couple previews, and it's astounding. Everybody is wowed, whether it be a corner of the painting because they enjoy the color or the line or the message. And it's crystal clear, the message to us here at Disco Dolls. And I really appreciate you putting your story out there. Everyone has a story, and you have a strong story that a lot of us share, and you have the gift, though, to illustrate it in such a high-end fashion. So thank you so much for lending us these imageries. I'm sure we'll have lots and lots of conversation here at Disco Dolls Gallery about this artwork, Bursting. It's so great, Emma. You just keep on going. I want to see your work in 20 years, what it looks like. But you definitely have a handle on this water medium to start. So
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun. I like the lack of control over it, actually.
well, you are in a category on your own with that one.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
find it ultimately frustrating. However, I don't give up. And hopefully we can get painting together soon. Okay. So we'll close for today, Emma, on this rainy November 11th, and we will see you soon. Please join us, viewers, at Disco Dolls Art _art and Discombobble and our website. Thank you, everyone. Come see Bursting. Bye.
Might not be the best city in the world,